Hi everybody, June here with Red Daisy Crafts. Coming on just a minute or so early. We're just going to give it a chance. I want to make sure everything is working. So let me just double check a few things and then we will dive right in. If you are joining me, please let me know in the comments where you're going to be joining me from, and I would love to hear where you're joining from. So let me just see here if we are all good. I think we are. Looks like we are doing good. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just kick things off. So, hey, Wanda, great. Thanks for joining tonight, or I should say this afternoon. And for those that will catch the replay, next week I'm going to have a little bit of a change to my schedule. I will post about it for sure and do a calendar on Facebook like normal. But it's going to be either Saturday around the same time or it'll be late Sunday evening. So once I have that confirmed, I will post for it so that you guys won't wonder what happens. So just having a little family gathering on Sunday, and I want to go to that. So all good. Oh, it is evening for you. Okay. I get very confused by all the different time zones. So thank you for that. So we are going to be playing with some alternates for the Farmhouse Florals. I'm going to put us down to the table so that we can talk through all the things. So let's see here. So these are the lovely cards that we made last week with this kit. These cards are really beautiful all by themselves. There is no, there is nothing unhappy about these cards. They are absolutely beautiful. The watercolor work in them, the images, they're absolutely gorgeous. So if you are happy with them, I would say make up your kit and get your stash ready for sending cards. If you are new to Paper Pumpkin, Paper Pumpkins come with a full color instructions, and you get all the pieces that you need to create 9 cards in this kit. Every month there is a new kit. And hi Susan, thanks for joining. You get all the pieces in your kit to create the cards or whatever project is coming in your kit. For example, this kit is no longer available. However, it is right now. I think the refills are available. So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can go and catch some refills right now. And if you're not, all you have to do is subscribe, and you would be able to grab one of the refills. This kit does not necessarily need to have the exact stamps that are included in this kit for you to make these cards. If you have sentiments, you can make these cards with those sentiments. So I would love to help you with your Paper Pumpkin. If you have any questions about that, just leave me a little comment here and I will be glad to help you out. So let's go ahead and talk real quick about next month's kit is Fall for 12. That's the subscription period that we are in right now. It is also going to have 9 cards, 3 of 3 designs, similar to this one. And the yawns are grabbing me. These cards are going to have a coordinating pieces that are available in the online store. They're available in the mini which goes live for you all in September. I think it's the 5th, but it could be sooner than that. You have the kit and you have a few kits not done yet. I understand. I think we all have a few kits not done. So I'm glad you're here. Feel free to grab a kit and craft along. And if you haven't already, you might want to grab the dies. I did hear that they were getting low on inventory. So if you haven't grabbed those, you're going to want to do that, because once they're gone, they're gone. So this is what the dies look like. They are called Circle of Seasons. And I'm excited to find out what are the next quarter dies. So, oh my goodness, I do have the yawns. I think we should go ahead and dig in. So I've been trying to figure out how to bring some additional pieces into this kit, because we have limited elements based on what came in the kit. And so for alternates, I wanted to be able to bring to you some ideas. And so I have a few ideas in this envelope that we're going to basically talk about. And let me just dump all my pieces out. So you can see here, I have a blank envelope. So I am going to suggest that you might need to have some extra envelopes. But this paper is from the Painterly Pears. Painterly Pears, I don't know, suite that's available in the online store. And I don't know if you can see or not, but I felt like the flowers that are in this paper, and let me see if I can bring it closer for you. The flowers that are in this paper were very, very similar to what we are using in this kit. And so I went ahead and did some trimming of flowers. Just one evening, I was just sitting there watching television, and I just started cutting away. And so I love that we have that option. So I have a piece of that paper here. I do love that the colors in this paper are very similar, very, very similar. Oh my goodness. Let me get a drink. Maybe that'll help. My goodness. The yawns are grabbing a hold of me. All right, so I have a few pieces here. And then this is the our ink spot for this month, Secret Sea. And so that is also in this card. This is Petal Pink. And so I did die cut a couple of the arches to use for this card. I have a white card base. I actually have two white card bases, because I'm going to show you a couple of options here. So I'm just getting all my little pieces sorted, and I had a couple other flowers that I thought if I needed them, I could use them, just cut them off. But I really wanted to show you how close those are. And I mean, I just love that we have something similar that we can kind of bring in, because we have such limited pieces here. So one of the other things I did was I did cut an arch out of the front of this card base as another option. So I'm just going to keep this in case I decide I need that for another card. So the first idea that I had was to bring in this card base, and I have a piece of the um, Secret C. Why does this piece look so big? Do I have the, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know, is this card, oh, this card base is not scored correctly. That's the problem. All right, so I will set that aside for now. So we have a piece of Secret C, and I thought we could bring this in as well. So I could just use that. I could trim this down. We also have a little bit of a checkered side here, but ideally we would maybe have the Secret C as a border, okay? And then I thought we could bring in the arch piece like so, and bring in the purse or the little basket. I'm not sure if it's a purse or a basket. It looks like a little shopping bag if you ask me. But I saw somebody else do this, and I thought it was so clever to just put this right behind here so that it just looks like it's the other strap behind the bag, and that we could just fill in a bunch of little flowers from the other and actually I could even bring that up because it wouldn't necessarily show if I was trying to stick all these flowers in into here. And we could just fill up the basket with some flowers. So that's one little idea that I had for the card. I also have the ribbon that goes with the Painterly pears. I thought that went really nice. And you have a Mossy Meadows side, but you also have the gold side. And I think the gold side just looks really great with this. But to be honest, they both look great. And it's hard to see that far away like that, but they are different. Let me see if I can show it to you like that. They're a little bit different. So that was one idea. And then I thought, okay, well, let's just see what it looks like if we were to just use this piece here. All right. And then we could just have a sentiment coming across. I could use some of the ribbon on here to give it a little bit more interest. We could just put a little bit of ribbon off the side with the sentiment. And so the other thing is I could have a different card base here. And I know I have it. I know I have them because I have pieces I cut. All right. So that's one thing, but I also trimmed these card base colors and did them in a little bit of a graduating. So I'm just showing you some of the ideas that I came up with, and then we're going to put some of this together and see. So I thought, oh, well, I could just layer these up, and these are all just a little bit of a different size. I think I need to trim that still so that they're just graduating up. And then this could go right on there just to give it some additional interest. So it looks like I need to take about 1/4 of an inch off of here for that one. So I'm going to get my trimmer out right now, and we're going to make a couple of adjustments here. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off 1/4 of an inch just so now that will work properly. Now that should work out just perfect. If I line these up as a base for the card. There we go. So that would go like that, and then we would have this mount on top of there. I just think that would be really cute itself with, of course, some ribbon and a sentiment. So that's that piece. But let's go ahead and let me grab this piece here, because what I am thinking, and I'll hang on to that, what I am thinking is instead of using a white card base and having the extra layer for the secret C, we could just have a secret C card base. And so let me score this. Obviously scored that wrong on that other card base. So there we go. And so let's put some of this together and just see what we have. So if I were to bring in just this piece here, instead of mounting all that onto a white card base, you know, like that, I think this works out just fine. And I think already trimmed a layer for the inside, so we can do that. Okay. And so let's go ahead and let's figure out all of our pieces. So what do I want my cards to say? Because we're going to need to do some stamping. And I have my stuff here. So let's see what we got. All right. Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear. That sounds good. Now what can we put on the front? Just a note. We'll do that. So we're going to stamp on here just a note. Okay. And we're going to stamp on this piece. So let's go ahead and do the just a note. Da, 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 da. Just like that. Okay. And so we have that sentiment. And then on the inside of the card, I think I will use the eyelet design to just add some interest on the inside of the card. Try not to knock my stamps off my table. They're a little close to the edge up there. And then we have our little message. Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear. That's so nice. All right. So then we can add this on the inside. I even think I could add this little strip right down here if I wanted, but I think I'm going to leave it how it is. All right, so I love to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. So let me go ahead and put this inside layer down now that we have it stamped. And go there. All right, and why do I owe it? I'm always losing my bone folder. Here it is. All right, so we have that. And then let's go ahead and start to put our layers on. So one option would be that I could have a very dark layer. Okay. Or I can put the little pears on it. And I kind of like the pears. The design, the pears are not like super prominent. I just think it's the pretty florals. And the colors match up so nice. So I'd say we go with that. And that makes that really good. All right, so now let's just set this aside for the time being, and let's go ahead and we are going to pop up our little bag here. So I'm grabbing my dimensionals that I have left over. I have these little tiny half cuts there, and I have lots of edge going on here. Oh, we are getting things all stuck because I've done so much trimming on here. All right, so I'm putting 2 at the bottom. I want to be able to put things in here, so I'm going to put this one down just a tad. All right, and so let's go ahead and put this, I think we'll start to layer this in. So if I were to bring that in like so, that doesn't interfere with anything. So I'm going to just put a little dab of multi-purpose liquid glue right back there. And I'm going to go ahead and tack down the little flower. Okay. So we have that to start. All right. And then I'm going to put this Calypso Coral flower. I'm going to actually, I think I'm going to adhere that down to the back right here. So I am going to just put some multi-purpose liquid glue on here. And let's just get it in the right spot again. All right. So I just think it's going to go right there. Okay, so we have that now. And I think this one, I don't know yet. I kind of like the smaller one, and I think we'll use it in another place, but let's go ahead and build up around here. So let me go ahead and put just a little dab of glue on the back of my flower here. Okay, and then that'll come up around there. And let's go ahead and add a little more here to bring in to that. Okay. And now I think I can work with this little guy. So I don't think I need that little, it's going to get covered up anyhow. So I'm just going to trim off that little funky edge, because now I can just put that down behind there, like so. And if I do that, right, I need to have another flower up here. That's going to go right on the edge of this. So I am going to just move that around like so. And now that's how that's going to go right there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and tack this down. And we will put this right in like so. All right, I think that's coming together. And then I thought I would put a small little flower down here at the bottom of the bag. So that's, I think, how that is going to go. So what do you think about that? Cute, isn't it? I think it's so cute. All right, let's go ahead and put this down now that we have everything where it needs to go. And let's just make sure we get it lined up properly. Right there. Awesome. So that's our little bag on here, okay? And then this will go right onto here. Now you could pop it up because I think we could put dimensionals in 3 places on here and it would not interfere with the postal machine if we are very careful. So I'm going to just put one right up here. And I'm making these a little bit big just because I want it to have a little bit more stability. Okay. And so I am just adding them in the corners down here at the bottom. So there are no other dimensionals in these areas. And so there we have that. Now, before we stick all that down, I think I want to add some ribbon to the card base. Okay. And so I was thinking I would put a bow on this side. So let's just see here if I get this working in the right direction so that I have the gold on the outside showing. All right. So I'm just going to come over here and we're going to do our bow right here. Not a giant bow. We're just going to have a smaller one. Okay. Because it will have to be dealt with as far as the envelope, right? And I don't want it to be too big for that. All right. So there we have that. All right. Now I think we can put our piece on here. All right. And I can scoot my bow over a little bit so that we can get this centered better without trouble. There we go. And so we're going to go ahead and put this down. So let me just take these covers off. And I'm just going to bring that up so that I can see where we're placing it. All right, so there we go. There's our center. Okay, and now we just have our sentiment that I thought we would just put right up here. Now I could put it down here. I don't know, I kind of like it on down here as opposed to up here. I think that looks nice. So I'm just going to add some multi-purpose liquid glue on that one side and we'll have it kind of hanging off over here and get that stuck on there. All right, so that looks awesome. Now, I was looking to see, I have these that match. They actually match very nicely, so I think we'll use them. These are low profile sparkle dots. Has many of the colors that we're using in this kit, so I thought we would add some of these to our card. If I get my take your pick tool out here, I'm just working on my little putty end. All right, so I think we'll go with the Secret Sea color and decide where I want to place these on our card. So I think we'll put, whoops. Oh, doesn't want to grab that. There we go. All right, so I actually think we'll put one here and a smaller one right next to it. And then we'll put another small one right up there. And that is what we have for this card. I think it came out really nice. Adding in just that DSP and the card base with the dies from the card kit. So this is using a lot of extra pieces. So the next one we're going to stick, a little bit more. Well, I don't know about that either. It'll be probably about the same. That because we're going to be bringing in these cardstock pieces. Okay, we are going to be using that piece from the kit, but I have a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to start with layering on the Secret C. I'm flipping it around to just make sure I know which side was the underside from the cutting whenever I cut the piece. So when you cut the paper with the trimmer, it does kind of push paper down. And so you can feel the edge of it. And so I was just feeling for that. So that would go down on the down. All right, so this piece here. All right, let me tell you these pieces. So they're 4 inches wide. And each one is a little bit different. So the Secret C is 1.5 by 4. The pecan pie is 1 3/8 by 4. This is the Darling Duckling, and it is, oh goodness. Well, it's 1/8 of an inch over 1 1/4. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1 5/16 is the technical measure by 4. And so let's put that one down. And like I said, each one is a little bit smaller in width or depth compared to the one below it. Okay. And then this one, let's see, this one is just 1 inch, okay, by 4. And that creates our background for the card. Now, if you see me around a bit, you know that I kind of like to do this kind of thing. Like I'm pretty simple when it comes to all of that. And so I really love how this arch die just fits so perfectly in that space. And we will pop this up with dimensionals. So again, I'm going to kind of leave a lot of room and just use kind of a big piece of the dimensional edge here to put a dimensional in 3 places. So I'm going to cut from down here. All right, so I'm going to put one up here. We'll put, oh, actually, maybe I'll do 4 of these. And we'll keep it out of the middle. So that if we put other dimensionals on the flowers, that it doesn't interfere with the postals. So, my objective is always to just keep 1 layer of dimensionals, because that just means you don't have to pay as much postage. And who wants to pay postage? All right, so before I do that, I want to go ahead because I'm realizing I would like to put a ribbon on here and I haven't. So I'm going to go ahead and put my ribbon down because I think this is where I want it to go. But before I do put it before I tie it on, I am just going to lay down our piece here. Okay, so I think that's pretty much centered. And then I'm going to bring my bow in, and it's going to be down here towards the bottom. All right, so that's going to go right here. And I am doing it a little bit off to the right of the bag. So let's see here. This one, I think, because of placement, it can be a little bit bigger than the other one. And so there we have that. All right, so I'm just going to trim this a little bit there. Okay, and that is that. Okay, so now we need to do some stamping. So I forgot we should have done this first, but we didn't. So we're going to do it now. So I'm going to lay this up here and figure out what we're going to stamp. So we have the little pieces here. Let's see, what does this one say? This one says, good friends are hard to find, so I'm glad we found each other. Let's use that on the inside. Oh, I love the sentiments in this kit. Hello, Shell. Thanks for joining. I appreciate your stopping by. I hope you're enjoying. Okay, so now I think I will add a few of the little eyelet pieces. So we have that, and stamp has another stamp on the other side, so I'm being a little touchy with it. Okay, that's our inside. All right, we're just going to keep that simple. Now we need to have something on the outside. So let me grab my box and let's see what we can add from our sentiment strips. So I'm going to go ahead and grab another one of these. I think it works well for this page or this card. So let's see what we have. Let's see. Forever your friend. I think that works out perfectly with the inside. So, sorry, I have something on the other side, so I'm just trying to make sure I don't get it all messed up. All right, so I think that's all right. There we go. Hopefully I got that on there straight. Oh, perfect. Perfect. So I think we'll just add this to our card. Let's see. I'm actually thinking maybe up here, but it could again go down here. Let's figure out where we're going to put our flowers. So we're going to use some of the flowers from the dies in the kit. So we're going to pop up some flowers here, and we're going to pop up some flowers there. Okay. And then I think we'll do one more right here. So I think if we place our sentiment right there, it'll be perfect. So I'm going to glue our sentiment down. We're going to glue that flat. All right. Knew we would be getting to the end of this right here. So if we put that right there, like so, I'm going to get rid of this since we are done with that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and add some of our, I have a lot of these little half pieces that I had already trimmed. We're going to use those. They are still just the right support for these little flowers. And I have this one. So on this one, I'm going to put 2 like that. All right, so for this one, and this is nothing new. This is kind of what we did in the actual kit design. I'm just changing the direction just a tad. So, and this one is going to come and go right down there. I didn't want it to cover up any of the words. Okay. And then we'll have this little one going right up here, like so. Now, I am going to use one of these other ones, and I'm going to put one right down here. But I think I will put it on top of the ribbon. Now, I don't necessarily plan to put the dimensional on the ribbon, but I am going to put it so that it looks like it is on the ribbon. All right, so that's what we have for this card. Really cute. I love this background. Really perfect for this. So just showing you kind of 2 similar designs, okay, for the same die cut, but just done very differently, okay. And that is that. So let's add some gems to this one. And because I have the darling duckling in this card, and the flowers are darling, we're going to use the darling duckling low profile gems here. So I'm going to add that one up there, and we'll put one next to it, and then we'll add one more right down here. And those are bright. Look at how cheerful those are. Really, really cute. Love the cards. So really, really cute. Okay, let me grab the next little grouping I have, because let's see here what I have. I cut some stuff out, and let me just see what we have. All right, so I have this piece here. Now I'm thinking I would like to use the rest of my card base from earlier. So I have this piece here, and I'm thinking I might use that to put behind here, just to like really make this piece pop a little more. I also know that that will definitely make it pop, but I kind of like how a little bit more subtle this is. And this is a, I want to use a different card base. So let me grab mine. Here I have a Lost Lagoon card base I thought I would use instead of the Petal Pink. Okay, so let me just grab this here, and let's see, because I grabbed the wrong one. Let me grab the right one. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've got to trim this down to 4 1/4. All right, so that takes care of that. And then let's go ahead and score at 5 1/2. Okay, so we have our card base. All right. And then I did bring in another piece of the painterly pear paper that has this beautiful leafing design on it that we're going to use as well. So I want to go ahead and trim this piece down to 4 inches. It's going to be 2 by 4 inches, okay, for our design. All right, so we have that piece there. And so now let's see what we want to do. Okay, so we have this. Now I could still keep the secret C with this popped up. We're going to put this on top of here. Okay, and that is one thing that we're going to do. But I am still thinking that I might like to use that behind it. I still think I want that. All right, so let me just trim this one down to 4 1/8 inch. Okay, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That should do it. I really just like that white on white look. Hey Jaylene, how are you? So glad for you to join. It's nice to have you here. All right, so I think this is, so it's just gonna fit on there so nice with a small little border. And then we'll have this piece here, okay? And I'm noticing like I don't love the direction this is going, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so then this piece is going to come across here like so. And let me see here. Actually, I think I might put this on here. No, I think we're just going to stick with the DSP piece. Okay, so we have our little piece here, and that's going to be for the inside of the card. Going to get rid of that. All right. The other option I have is this. So we could do it. We could change it, and then that darn texture thing would be going in the right direction. Maybe that's what I'll do, is we'll change it. All right, so I got to trim this just a slight bit to the 5 3/8 so that it fits across there better. And this is just another piece from that Painterly Pears paper, but I love that it has the Calypso Coral in it. Calypso Coral goes so nicely with Lost Lagoon. It's really a nice fit for it. So we are going to bring it down just a tad. So I'm going to bring that like that. This will go on the inside. And we are going to bring in our typewriter. So we're just going to have that right there. Okay. And I did cut some flowers from the DSP pack that I thought would go nicely on here. But I also have some additional flowers from my trimming that we'll use to fill up our typewriter, okay? Just so you can see how that works. Now, I want to grab one of the sentiment strips from the kit. So I don't know if you've seen these, but these cute little papers that like are coming out of the typewriter. So we're going to use that as well. So we need to do some stamping on the inside of our card and on that little typewriter paper piece. Okay, so since our card's going to go this way, we don't want to mess that up because June would totally mess that up. But what we are going to do is we're going to use the flowers on the inside of here. Okay, so here is, and I'm going to stamp off so that it's not so deep on the inside of here. Okay, and then we're going to do one more. All right, so I'm just stamping off, and then I'm going to put another one right here. There we go. And then let's see, what are we going to say? You're simply the best. And I'm going to move that over just a little bit. I think that works out. And I think there is one that says to say, I'm going to find it. This one right here. Because we're going to put on the front just a note to say, you are simply the best. There we go. I think that's so cute. If I get all my things in the right places. All right, now we're going to put on the just a note, and we're going to put that right up at the very tippy top of that torn paper. Okay. Right up here at the top like that. Just a note. Perfect. Okay. So now let's bring back our little pieces and we will put this all together. Okay. And let's see what we got. Ta-da. All right, let's go ahead and burnish our score line. I don't think I have done that on the other ones. Keep forgetting. And our card's going to open this way, which is not typical for me, but it's all right. It's definitely something that can be done. All right, so let's just go ahead and put in our inside layer. All right, like so. And then we're going to have this piece, and it's only going to leave a very small edge. It is humid in Florida. Is it, Jaylene? I know. That's one of my reasons why it's not my favorite place. It's too humid. I moved to San Antonio from humid Houston for that. That was one of the biggest reasons. I just do not like all that humidity. Ugh. I mean, it's still humid here where I live, but it's a little bit of an adjustment. All right, so now we have this texture we're putting on, and I don't remember the name of this. Embossing folder. I feel like it has brick in the name of it, but I'm not sure. But this is like some texture on the outside of a building that's partially brick and partially stucco in a sense. And when you have embossing folder, you want to use liquid glue so that you can get adherence good adherence of that piece. So that is what that looks like. Okay, so it's just a little bit of tone on tone because this card base layer is just a little bit off white. It's not white white. So I needed a little drink. Okay, so we're going to add this piece here, which I don't know if you noticed, but the little pieces in here, they also look a little bit like an eyelet. So I think it's even more ironic how much this paper really matches up with this kit, even though it is not, you know, there's no pears in our August kit at all. Okay, so that's that piece right there. All right. All right, now we are going to go ahead and put our little note paper into our typewriter. So there's a little die cut piece there that there's a slit in it and allows us to stick that paper in just like so. And see if I can get it straight. There we go. All right, so I am going to get some dimensionals to add here. And I'm actually think I'm going to use just this big piece I have. That I'm just going to put it right here, and that's going to support the whole thing. Because I'm going to stick things in and around the typewriter. So that's going to go about right there on our paper. All right, and then we're going to have the yellow flowers coming around here like so. So I think I can put just a teeny weeny bit of liquid glue right here to tack that little flower on, because you can see it has a flat edge and no one's going to know the difference when I tuck it in right there. And that way that one's popped up. Now what I can do is take this little half dimensional and stick that right there to give it even more support for it. All right, so then we have yeah, I think that can go. If I did that, that could go there. And then this little guy right here. Let's see, maybe this one up here. And then this one. And that one. And then that one. What do you think? I think that'll work out just fine. All right, so what I want is to put a couple of those down with dimensionals. This one's going to be a dimensional, this one's going to be a dimensional, and this one's going to be a dimensional. These two are not. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them down like so. So that one's going to go right there. And then this one's going to go right next to it. Like that. All right, so we got those coming up like that. And I need some little dimensionals. So I think I still have a couple of little half dimensionals on here. And then I think then I've used them all. All right, so I'm going to need a tiny dimensional for this one. There we go. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stick this one down first because this is going to go right in there like so. All right, so we are just going to have this right there. So let me go ahead and put this down before we add anything else. All right, so there, that's where we're going. All right, so then this little guy is going right off this side over here, like that. And then this one is going right up here, like that. And then I have one more tiny one here. That we're going to place right down here at the bottom of the typewriter. So that's what our little typewriter and florals look like. I think that that looks so cute. All right. Now, we could add still a little bit of ribbon. Not a lot, but a little. And let's just see here. If I get a little bit of tear and tape, because for whatever reason, I do not have any glue dots on my table right now. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of tear and tape to put our ribbon on. So first, let's put these two together. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to put that together like that. And I was just thinking we just stick that right in the side here. Or maybe up here. Oh, I like that. All right, now we're going to put a little tiny bit on the back side. And we're going to tuck that in right here, like so. So now we have just a little bit of ribbon coming out the side. All right, and then we're going to add some more of these gems. So this time I think we'll use this green. Oh no, I think we're going to use the Secret Sea, which I think also looks really good with the oh my goodness, with the Secret Sea. So I'm just trying to see where I had intended to place these. So we're going to put one right there and one right there, and then also one right here, like that. All right, that's how our little card ended up. Now, if I wanted to go crazy, which I'm feeling the need, because it's so fun and we can, is we could stick some of these little darling duckling tiny ones right inside the flower centers. I want that stick. There we go. And then one more. One more. There we go. Oh, I love it. What did I drop? Oh, just some of my cardstock. All right. So now that is that. I love it. I don't know if you can see those very well, but they are very cute. And so just a note to say, you're simply the best. I love it. All right, so I think that's where we're going to stop for today. We made some really cute alternates using the Painterly Pears DSP and some cardstock and the ribbon, which let me tell you what that is. It's called Mossy Meadow and Gold Trim. That's what that ribbon is. It is 1/4 of an inch wide, and it's very easy, as you could tell, to make these, make the bows. Okay. I love how these came out, so I hope that this inspires you to give it a go. And awesome. I'm so glad. I'm glad I could give you some ideas to work with. Awesome. Fantastic. And I love that if you have the Painterly Pears DSP, that is something that can work with this kit, and I think it brings a lot to it. So I hope that you will give it a go. All right, everybody. Again, next week, don't forget, I am going to be on a little bit of a different schedule. We have a family thing on Sunday, and so I will. Thank you so much, Jaylene. Thank you, Shell. Wanda, thanks for joining. I'm going to be either switching to Saturday or doing it Sunday night. And so I will post in the group and on YouTube in the area. So if you are not a subscriber, go and subscribe so that you'll be notified whenever I post my message. So thanks, everybody, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend and your week ahead. Bye.